Hello Internet, my name is Max7238 and welcome back to the Stairway to Heaven. This is going to be floor 3. There are 4 challenge rooms, so be warned, this might be a long episode, and for future reference, any episodes that get to be a little too long, from now on I'm going to be putting a little note in the description so you can skip ahead to a boss fight if that's what you're here for. The end of every episode should also have a completed map. I wouldn't necessarily showcase it, but I do check my map often, so you can just pause and have a look. You know, these episodes might progressively get longer and longer. Some of these floors do get pretty complicated, so I don't want to, you know, have people sitting through a bunch of monotony for no reason at all. If you want to see drop tables, those will be showcased throughout the episode. I'm not going to be writing in items at the end of the episode or anything like that. Really, that's something that you should kind of figure out for yourself, but at the same time, you know, what's most important in a walkthrough, really, for Rengoku, is to see what kind of build you should be making, and even then, that's kind of something you want to figure out for yourself, because it should suit your style. If you're comfortable with multiple styles, by all means use multiple styles. Personally, I prefer bullet and melee. Bullet is my usual preference, but seeing as we did nothing but bullet for the entirety of the first game, I'm using melee for my second. Well, linear mortar gun. I would be excited about that if I could use it. This guy has another double horn. I would very much like it. Double horn, maybe? Oh, liquid cooler. That's almost as good. I won't be using much of liquid cooler for this particular game, mainly because I am using a melee style, and so you don't tend to overheat too much, except for on your legs. And if I remember correctly, having liquid coolant on your legs doesn't really help with your legs overheating. We are eventually going to end up, if I remember correctly, with a slash build, not necessarily a grapple build. And that's partially due to the weapons that I'm going to be aiming for this character. I would like to have, like, some heat axes at some point, and something that doesn't cause blowback would be very nice. But we'll see what happens. Because, like I said, having a weapon, having more than one weapon on your character that causes blowback at once can tend to get a little strange and hard to combo. Ooh! Armor. I've already got kite armor on my chest. Let's see how that goes. Well, how that compares, I should say. Floor. I should probably point this out. I did talk a little bit about it in the previous game. So, in case you're new to Rengoku as a whole, it is loosely based on Dante's Divine Comedy, the Journey to Purgatory, Heaven and Hell. And so the main character is supposed to be sort of a parallel to the main character of that, which is Dante. But that being said, it's still loosely based, so it's not something that you need to, you know, read before you play the game in order to understand the game. Rengoku 1's story is better than Rengoku 2's story. However, Rengoku 2 has such an improved gameplay, just such improved combat, that you're probably going to want to play Rengoku 2 over Rengoku 1 just for that one fact alone. Especially since, you know, Rengoku 1, now the full story has been showcased on my channel, so if you don't actually want to play it, you can just kind of skip around to the boss fights in that series. Plasma Blaster. I'm still debating on what I'm going to eventually make this character, because having heat swords would be great, because it allows me to disable enemies while I combo them, which is just insane. But there's also a set of weapons, if I remember correctly, the Muramasa Blade takes up 2 slots, and you can combo between 2 of them, 1 on each arm, and they have these really long-reaching dashing attacks. They're very, very powerful and very, very useful, and on top of that, they have what's called critical effect, which in this game basically allows you to slice the enemy's health in half whenever the effect takes place. Yeah, I'm probably gonna die in here. Ah, somebody else spawned behind me. Yep, so in keeping with the theme, death is not release. You die, technically you lose all of your memories, which by game mechanics means you lose all of your currently equipped gear, and you get sent back down to the bottom. Let's see, something to go well with those. Ah, I know what to do. There it is. Oh, what does this look like anyway? Oh, it's that thing. I remember that. 20 and 20, as opposed to 20. Okay, well, we'll keep that on there. Looks a little strange, but it's useful, so why not? And 40 as opposed to just 40. So we'll slap that on there too. Again, looks weird, but useful, so can't complain. This thing, I would love to be able to use that, but staying completely clear of any kind of bullet type weapons this time around. So let's see. Yep. See if we can't go retrieve our stuff here. Yeah, you can wait a minute. I'm kind of busy. Alright, here we go. That is a stun gun right there. We're gonna have to head back to the main room to re-equip, because this is not gonna go well. I love the heat axe, but really not going to be all that useful if it's just the heat axe and the attack hammer. Not a good idea. And like I thought, my liquid coolant actually doesn't act upon itself, so if you watch my heat meters as I'm dodging around, the one on my legs is going up, but then I'm not losing energy on my liquid coolant as it cools down, which means that the liquid coolant is not affecting that cooldown at all. Which is of no use to me. Actually, I'm just going to completely forego the idea of looking good right now and just... Alright, I want to keep that on there. Well, now that I think about it, that double horn's the only melee weapon I can actually put on my chest at the moment, so... When did I get that? Now that is something I can get behind. A pile bunker. Notice the special effects there. Knockback, guard break, physical stun, blow away. Yeah, this thing's pretty ridiculous. We'll throw on the heat sword there, and in case that runs out, the broad blade we've been using. Not much else we can do for right now, so we gotta keep pushing forward. There's gonna be much better possibilities for equipment later on. We'll be getting things like a heat sword that allows me to do a jumping attack and that sort of thing as well, so it's it'll be pretty cool. We gotta get there first. Look at that. That is the pile bunker. Shut up, it's not overpowered. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not punching through somebody's entire health bar with one attack on one weapon. You're completely mistaken. It's not why I equipped it at all, it just looks cool. Yeah, that's it. I didn't get rid of the liquid coolant on my legs. I'm an idiot. Oh well, not going back now. Yeah, we should go back up there and clear out those rooms, because I do need to clear the entire floor. I'm okay with looking a little strange right now. I'm more focused on functionality this low in the tower and this low on upgrades and that sort of thing. I can do that too. The difference is I have a follow-up. Pile bunker is so nice. There we go. Actually, I do have quite a... Wow, I don't even know how to talk right now. I have quite a bit of elixir skin at the moment, so the next time we make our way back to the main room, we can dump that into some upgrades. Once again, the blow away from two of my weapons kind of interferes with the combo with each other. I'd like to get something else on my chest aside from the double horn, but at the same time, aside from that, all I've got is the point armor. And although that would be useful, that turns my combo potential into just this shoulder charge thing. Oh, that doesn't seem to be true to that, I guess. And it does give me quite a bit of grappled HP, so might as well. And this is why I'm an idiot, because since I didn't remember to change off of my liquid coolant, I've only got 5 shots of my pile bunker left. I gotta try to find some energy. That is a cooldown. That is not energy. Not helping. Grapple's getting a little too high. I'm starting to get reduced EXP. Another problem with the pile bunker is that it takes up 2 slots. So as powerful as it is, it kind of limits my options. Oh, total recovery. Alright, we're just gonna have to pick that up before we get started with the real fight. I'd like to save it in case I really get hurt, but yeah, it's really starting to reduce my EXP now. Shock ability can be pretty useful. Ow! This guy's showing up just pretty much stole EXP from me. What's that? Macro needle gun. Again, something that would be useful. I start making my way back to the main room. Well beyond the 15-minute mark now, so I'll definitely have to be putting a annotation in. One of the things that changes from Rengoku 1 to Rengoku 2 that I actually don't mind all that much is that not every room is a lock room. You can actually move from one room to the next sometimes without there ever actually being a lockdown and enemies appearing. I think it allows for, and it certainly does, allow for more creative floor design. Previously, they were, Rengoku's floors were just on a grid, in a, like, perfectly square pattern, and they could only go so far, and every single room had enemies in it. Wasn't all that, entertaining of level design. Alright, yeah, let's make a stop over here, and make some changes. Okay, you're gonna have to give that to me. That's not what I wanted from you. Even a little bit. I was happy for about 2 seconds when I saw that that was a new item, and then it just wasn't the item that I wanted. See what we can do. We got quite a few new weapons here. Let's show off a few of them. The Plasma Blaster ought to be this like fanned out blast. Yeah, they sort of home in on targets, and the more advanced versions do fire more blasts than just 3 at a time. It also changes color, but I never found it to be particularly useful. The Howitzer, this is from the previous game, functions basically exactly the same. It's just that now it actually has this accompanying explosion with it, so you can hit multiple targets. Makes up for the fact that it's kind of difficult to aim at times. We are going to stick with our double horn and armor on the chest. Probably going to stick with the pile bunker too, because although it does take up 2 slots, it's also, like I said, incredibly powerful. But let's see about adding on this macro needle gun, showing that off. This, again, from the previous game. Similar, but not as spectacular. I don't know if it's as powerful either. In the previous game, you were able to knock enemies over with it and practically throw them across a room just by shooting at them. This time around, I doubt that. We want our heat sword there. I suppose we'll put the heat axe underneath that. Not joking when I said that I really wanted to focus on a heat-style melee. Let's see. Movement speed isn't reduced, but it doesn't actually reduce electronic attack. Well, then again, these are arm shields, so they reduce 100% of damage when they're used regardless. So I'm just going to keep the new kite shields around. And now that I have 2 double horns, I don't need these double claws anymore. Mach Punch, again, not going to be using, especially not when the pile bunker exists. Drill Claw, also not exactly my style. Hang on to these. We did get a second heat sword. Yeah, not really anything I can do with stuff on my chest. Okay. That, oh, hang on. Now this thing, shock absorbers. Looks a little strange, but it diffuses impacts across the entire body. Basically means that if anybody were to attack me with something like my pile bunker, it would knock me over. I'm just putting that on in case I have to use it during the boss fight. It's the same thing with the point armor and repair system. While I'm fighting just basic enemies, I do want to kind of keep to my first slot weapons, although I might switch to the heat axe depending on the situation. So let's continue clearing out this north half and move into the southern half. That'll lead to a locker room. As does this. Okay, we gotta start trying to get kills with slashing weapons, which means I'm going to be using my heat sword a bit more. My grapple EXP has been reduced. We're close to getting that first multiplier, but I suppose they're trying to keep me from it until the next floor. And that's alright, because I do also need to level up my slash. Although the pile bunker does certainly help cut clean through their overkill meter. I'll be using it for that for a while. We're making pretty good progress. Thank you for patiently waiting. I didn't miss anything over here, did I? Yeah, I kind of did, but that's alright. I'm sort of trying to save Elixir Skin, not necessarily use it for upgrades just yet. Because I don't necessarily need anything too badly right now. that's why we have the shotgun thrower, which can still attack. Flamethrower. Technically it's a plasma weapon, if I remember correctly. It'll level up my quantum if I actually get kills with it. And since there's no heat stat in this game, I can't actually level up the amount of heat damage that my weapons do. It's a little disappointing, but I suppose it kind of had to happen. In the previous game, if you really focused on your heat, I mean, you could disable enemies so quickly that they never even had a chance to fight back. Which was extremely satisfying, but also extremely overpowered when you were fighting other players. Which, again, I only really got to do a couple of times. Can you not see me? Okay. Sublimator cooler. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. We're actually already running into some advanced weapons. Should be challenge room 3 out of 4. A lot of little side rooms on this one, but once we're done with it, just one more to go and then the boss fight. I have that too. Probably know how to use it a lot better than you do. Except, you know, you have a rocket launcher. Dodging all over the place. Hold still. There we go. A couple of close calls there, but not too bad. I'm going to run through these rooms real quick. I want to actually get through that door. Once again, you gotta love how they can actually hit each other. And then show absolutely no restraint when doing so. What do we get? Our ballast. That would be the bow gun. It is an upgrade to the auto bow gun that we found earlier. See if we can get this to connect to the other door we had over there. Oh yeah, here we go. So then we'll be able to connect across the map here. how that guy did that really nice little backflip there? That's probably him using the sublimator cooler. Since I'm going to bet that that's the one that changes your evasive maneuvers. I believe I mentioned those in the previous episode, but this will be the first time we actually run into it aside from the acceleration system. And it looks like we're not going to be able to connect across the board, so we'll have to come back around that way once we're done with the challenge room down there. We'll try to aim for 2 floors per recording session. That way I can do upload 1 floor a day. Keep a steady pace here. Whoa there. That was a huge freeze. That's okay. Overdrive. I'm just going to demonstrate how ridiculous this is. First of all, there's the meter over there, and I can just attack forever as long as that's active. I could have probably used that and like rushed forward into another room to like go nuts, but that overdrive is going to be something that we generally want to aim for. Aim for? But it's a random drop in a box. Yeah, you'd like to think that. There is an item we're able to run into much later in the game that allows you to immediately enter overdrive at the cost of instantly overheating a particular weapon. It goes on the head, it's considered utility, and it can't attack really, but it's one of the things that's basically going to allow me to use my strategy of a completely like unlimited slash combo. Coupled with 2 Muramasa blades and using that overdrive and then having liquid coolant on your legs, you essentially are able to attack an entire room full of enemies, slashing over and over and over again. Very difficult to hit in that state, and capable of killing basically anything in 2 hits if you can get a double crit. It gets pretty ridiculous, and why would I need that much firepower? Well, things get pretty hectic late in the game, to say that. Although, if I remember correctly, in order to get more than one of those Muramasa blade, I think I have to actually run through Heaven Sea more than once. Really? Are you serious right now? Where is that full recovery? I know there was one in here. I thought I saw it. Oh yeah, see, it is right behind me. I thought so. I have to say, I really don't appreciate it when somebody goes all in with a stun gun on me. Oh yes, no. What did I just say about the stun guns? What did I just say about the stun guns? Ignore the reduced EXP for now. Kind of in some dire straits here. Well, that was close. I just need to clear out this corner here and we'll be good to go. waiting for another enemy to appear there. Once we get back to the room, I'll be able to equip the sublimator cooler and show it off. As long as I remember correctly, it should have the exact same evasive maneuvers as the acceleration system. Pretty cool. I'm not sure if the heat up on the heat sword counts as the custom effect, so I don't know if leveling up the custom effect on the sword is going to also level up the amount of heat damage that it does. That would technically offset the fact that there's no heat stat in this game, but at the same time, like I said, if it gets to be a little out of control, you kind of can just completely disable an enemy with heat attack. And I feel like as a developer that's something you might want to avoid. So I can understand why they might have reduced something like that, but at the same time, it was really pretty funny to go through the game and be completely invincible just because you could overheat something in 2 shots. Alright, looks like that's the whole floor. So we'll head for the boss and cut the episode. This guy, if I remember correctly, is a bit of a pain in the butt, exactly because of the heat attack. And he's got some pretty interesting attacks. You're really not able to, you know, perfectly imitate the bosses in this game like you could in the previous game, because most of the bosses in this game all have, like, unique models to what they've got. I'm going to keep the flamethrower around. I might mess around with it off camera. I'm not sure. This is 30-20. And reduces heat. Couldn't find heat armor, did I? Nope. Stick with the point armor. Weird looking point armor. Alright, here we go. So let me show this off real quick. If I remember correctly. Oops. Yes, okay. So, sublimator cooler changes the way that you evade. The evasions are a bit of a mix from the previous game and new animations in this game. So, for example, when I've got just regular old whatever on that doesn't mess with my evasion, I have this weird, like, backflip and, you know, this stuff, but then the dodge rolls to the side are the same as the previous game. Or did you backflip in the last game? I don't remember. I did just play through it a ton. I should remember, but I don't. Oh, sure. Blame me for everything, why don't you? Okay. Ow. Yeah, he's got a special kind of pile bunker, I just noticed. Not to mention the fact that I think that was, what do you call it? Macro needles. Give that a try. I was doing sort of okay until he completely overheated me. Yeah, that. But his macro needles are the real problem because he just one-shot me with it. These are some pretty long floors. I just checked the time. We're at 40 minutes. That is kind of ridiculous. Alright, so we're going to have to change up our tactics here. Ah, there goes my axe. The armor's helping out a lot. You know what else might have helped out a lot? If I actually, you know, spent some time on some upgrades. Something just vanished. Oh, it was my repair systems, I see. He's got a different type of flamethrower. It just kind of shoots out this wave of fire from his right to his left, it looks like. Ah, those macro needles. Okay, yeah, let's actually, you know, how about let me actually grow a brain and upgrade myself, especially my defense. Then we can go back in there on the offense. Yeah, that's much better. Alright, let's try this again. This time with a bit less failure. I am still going to start up with my repair systems. Yeah, that defense is helping out a lot. I don't even have my armor equipped and he's not able to, like, blow away my health right now. Keeps getting me into that, ow, hellfire. If I remember correctly, that's what his chest weapon is called. And then he's got that pile bunker that hurts. Blowing me away with it too. I'm actually going to take advantage of this time because I actually have a chance. There's another one? Jeez. I didn't realize there were 2 full recoveries in here. Bam! Alright, that only took 5 minutes. That was sarcasm if you couldn't tell. I don't know if my tone changed enough to make it obvious, but yeah. Captain Graham. Oh, we knew each other before we were androids. new data. Why, the controller of the tower, of course! Yep, Hellfire. Might be something worth looking into, not sure. It is, once again, a plasma weapon. It's not necessarily about attacking as much as heating the opponent up. Yeah, we're in some pretty annoying territory here. Anyway, so this is Hellfire. You're actually got a gigantic hole in your chest there, and it creates the path of flame that the boss used. Enemies that step in are slowed down, and they heat up. Not really something we're going to be using. Anyway, we'll move on to floor 4 in the next episode. Thanks for watching.